Hey there, here's a quick note before we begin. You can support the podcast by downloading, sharing, or checking with my favorite hiking gear at justhyke.com. Let's hit the trail. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Just Hike podcast. I am Melanie Michaelchuk, and I am your host today. We have on our call today Julie, and she is with the San Antonio Hikers. Hi, Julie, how are you?
Hi.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with this hiking and backpacking and camping group.
Sure. I've been a solo hiker for about 14 years, and about 3.5 to 4 years ago, I decided to join some groups. Of course, it was like during the pandemic. So I joined all kinds of groups, and this is one of the ones that I joined. The person that started the group actually ended up moving away and said, "Does anybody want to take over this page?" So me and my co-admin Michael Dale took it over and went running with it. We love the outdoors. He's more of a backpacker. I'm more of a hiker and camper. Basically, we just started doing group hikes, and I made a really good friend circle of friends. And so then they started hosting hikes, and then it just started becoming this huge group. And now we started like at 200, and now we're at almost 20,000. And
Wow.
so I just love getting people outdoors, one group at a time is my motto. And I just feel like during the pandemic, it was really important to everybody's mental health. So that's kind of why I hike and why I like to be outside and connect with nature.
Nice. I'm a big supporter of the benefits of nature and hiking and the mental health part of it. I'm a bit of a science nerd, and so I've been diving into some of the science on that and just fractal patterns and biophilia and all these crazy science words and studies that are
Wow.
coming out. So it's pretty cool.
So
Yes.
many people going through so many issues turn to hiking, and then it's just incredible to see them take off.
Right. It's addictive, right?
Mhm. It's so addicting. And then you want to conquer peaks and then this peak and then go this distance and so on.
Exactly.
It's cool.
Yes. So what sparked your passion for hiking and what keeps you hitting the trails? Like you mentioned, it was during the pandemic, you were looking for something, but were you kind of a nature geek before that?
I have always been a nature geek, actually. Well, I don't really care for bugs so much. As a young child, if they said, parents, don't go over there, it's dangerous. Me and my friend Amanda, we would go over there and we would go behind fences and explore all places we're not supposed to go. And so that's kind of how it started, was the exploration of it. And then as I got older and I became a mother and I had children, it was really important for my children to connect with nature also. Every Monday, I'm in the salon industry also, so Mondays were off. And every Monday we had Lake Monday. So we would go camping and we would go to the lake. And the kids just grew up doing that. I do have to say, while they enjoy camping and going outside, they absolutely do not care for hiking. And so I kind of started geocaching with them at an early age, and it made them more interested in it. And so as they got older and kind of didn't want to hike with me anymore, I just continued hiking. I love it because it's something that I've had to start over several times, and I've done it several times. And so it just makes me feel renewed, refreshed, and vitamin D. I mean, it's great for you.
You mentioned geocaching. I think geocaching is great. I've done that with my kids when they were younger also. My kids are in their 20s. I think your kids are in their 20s
All
also.
over 25 of them.
Wow.
Two biological, but we're a big blended family. So.
That's awesome. So I have a sometime for Mother's Day, I'll make them go on a hike with me, right? Other than that, it's like they're non-existent. They have their own busy lives, but I do love to instill nature onto
Mm.
them as much as I can. And
That's the only time I get my kids to, like on my birthday.
birthday or mother, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's like, okay, we're
pretty
going
much.
to the lake, we're going to do whatever. Yeah, that's great. And hopefully when they're ready, they'll instill that onto their children.
I hope so because I feel like it's really important.
Now, you mentioned you have your group. It's about 20,000 people, the San Antonio Hikers group. Is Are all your events free or are they a pay or how does that work?
We've gone around circles about maybe making it like a 501(c)(3) or outdoor social club, but we circle back to absolutely not. We love the fact that we can actually provide this for people for free at no charge. And I think it's worth it because we wouldn't be a group without our amazing hosts. They're the ones that, take time out of their days to host hikes, to get people together, and then to boost their hikes and their events so that people come and join. And so it takes a village. And I just don't think that we would want to like ever charge anybody to do that. I feel like it's a gift that we can give and keep giving. I mean, it's great.
Uh, That's beautiful. I love that we have so many people in our hiking community who want to share the beauty of nature and share the benefits of nature and just getting out there and exploring our world. And people do it for free,
Yeah.
right? They do it for
Yeah. And
free.
you feel safe by doing it in a group. You don't have to go alone. So,
Absolutely. Especially when you're learning a trail, it's good to go with a group. Like, so I want to go hiking in the San Antonio area. I'll go to your Facebook page, your San
yeah.
Antonio Hikers group, and I'll just search different areas or favorite trails or whatever and just scroll through the posts. And it's like, oh, well, they went hiking here. And
Hmm.
so therefore, that's a good place to go hiking. And
Then you pull up your all trails, right?
oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Pull in all those resources, right? Not just all trails, but people who have been there, people who have recently been to that trailhead or been to
Oh,
that
yeah.
spot. You know what it looks like before you step into it. So it makes you feel a little more safe and comfortable, I think.
Definitely. I agree.
Yeah, yeah, good. So what are some of your must-do hikes near the San Antonio area?
Must do hikes near and around San Antonio or
Yes.
San Antonio.
Well, in general, hill country,
Okay.
San Antonio, wherever.
So there's so many actually. You wouldn't think that there is in San Antonio, but there is a lot.
Hey, friend, if you're enjoying this episode of Just Hike, here's how you can help support the show. First, be sure to follow, download, and share this episode. It helps more adventurers like you and me discover the podcast and helps keep this journey going strong. And if you're gearing up for your next hike or just curious about my favorite outdoor gear, be sure to check out my Amazon affiliate page. I've listed all the items I actually use from hiking shoes to trail snacks. You'll find them at justhike.com. Every purchase through the link helps support the podcast at no extra cost to you. Thanks again for being here with me on the trail. Let's go back to our show.
I mean, Enchanted Rock, if you're in the area you're visiting, it's absolutely worth a drive. Then there's Hill Country State Natural. That is my favorite place to go backpacking or train for backpacking. You can gain probably the most elevation that you'll gain anywhere around San Antonio there. So that's great for if you're going on a bigger trip, to practice there. And it's beautiful. Then there is Garner State Park. I mean, who doesn't want to float the river, right? And then you can climb Old Baldy. It's a short but very steep trail. I think it's like 1849 elevation. And it's always a lot of fun. Not too much, but not too little.
How
So
far is Garner from San Antonio?
I want to say about an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
And then what about the state natural area?
Oh, that is like 56 minutes away. I love driving out there too. It's a gorgeous drive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So we got Enchanted Rock. Now I've only
Hmm.
been to Enchanted Rock a couple of times, but each time I've went, I've had my kids with me, and the goal was always to hike up Enchanted
Yeah.
Rock, which is great and fun. But I've heard that there's some great trails around the rock. Is that?
Yes. The entire loop is actually like my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And about how
Basically
far is
like
that? Do you know?
5.4 miles
5.4 miles
to be
going around
exact.
the rock.
Mhm.
Okay, nice. I'm gonna have to check that one out. And then
Yeah.
the Hill Country State Natural Area. Now, with the Hill Country State Natural Area, is there like dispersed camping? That's one thing that I like to do. I don't necessarily like to camp at campsites because it gets to be too many people, and then there's kids running around, and then there's people playing their music too loud,
Yeah.
and I just want to be at peace and solitude and with nature. Are there
Okay.
any places like that around San Antonio?
Well, yes, actually in San Antonio, we are so lucky to have our own state park. And so it's literally 5 minutes away. I hiked there yesterday, but it's 20 acres and it's called Government Canyon State Park. And it is an absolute great place to camp if you want to get some camping in.
Do you have a favorite camping spot?
I personally don't really camp there just because I live 5 minutes away from it, but I pass all the camping spots and they look really nice. Enchanted Rock also has some really great camping spots and they are pretty further out like you would like. So, yeah,
Very cool. Very cool. What do you think would be a hidden gem? Do you think we touched on that already?
I do. I would definitely say Government Canyon. I think we're so lucky to have a state park. Not every city has a state park. I was actually thinking about that and I was like, definitely Government Canyon. I mean, they have the backcountry that they close off half of the year due to like wildlife and birds and preservation. But what I was gonna say is when they open it up, it's a beautiful hike. There's a good 15-mile hike that you can do there, and you just do the whole backcountry. And you get to see all the different birds, and it's just really, really beautiful. And the reason I call it a gem is because it has dinosaur tracks, Melanie. Like
Really?
literally hike and see real dinosaur tracks.
Over at Government Canyon. Very
Yeah,
cool.
they're really
That's,
neat.
yeah, that's awesome. Now, I was in San Antonio. We did the missions, like the different missions that,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's not like it's a paved trail, right? But we took our e-bikes and that was a lot of fun to do. We actually stayed at Palmetto State Park. Then we drove in to the missions. We parked at one of the missions and we jumped on our bikes and we did like all those trails. I think we
Yeah.
visited like five missions or something
Yeah.
and just drove around. And that was such a great experience. And you can rent e-bikes there too.
Mhm. It's really exciting when you come to San Antonio to get to experience.
Just really interesting and lots of history, especially if you're a history buff. Lots of great history there. Very cool. What do you think Central Texas has different to offer than any other part of the state in regards to hiking? How do you think the hiking is different?
I would say that there's a lot of rivers in Central Texas that you can hike along, like the Guadalupe River State Park. I mean, there's a hike called the Bower Unit or a portion of the park called the Bower Unit. And so you get to hike all around there in the backcountry and then right up along the water. And what I think is really cool, I'm not sure about the other parts of the state, but I know centrally you can actually hike through the waters. Let's say, for example, you're going on a hike that involves hiking through the water or wading water, you can actually practice here in
Oh,
Central
nice.
Texas.
That's it. You know what? That's such a great suggestion. I like that. So if you go to Eagle Rock Loop, there's lots of water crossings, and that's up in Arkansas. And if people aren't used to doing water crossings, they don't know how their feet are going to react. They don't know about whether you change your shoes or not change your shoes, leave your footwear on. When we went to Iceland, we had some water crossings in Iceland, and we definitely didn't want our shoes to be wet while we were walking because it was cold. And
Mhm.
so therefore, for those river crossings, we decided to change our shoes and put on water shoes. But I think that's a great place to go and train and kind of get used to knowing what that experience is going to be like before
Yeah, and
you
we
get into
we've
it.
done a lot of water hikes too.
Yeah.
So definitely we've had to utilize the rivers for training and
Oh, yeah.
especially figuring out which shoes are good, just like you said. There's times where my water shoes are great, but then when we did the hike in Big Bend, I took those water shoes right off as soon as I put them on. I was like, nope, nope, nope. And I put my hiking shoes back on. So it just depends like on the bottom too.
What was the issue with the water shoes versus your hiking boots?
The issue in Big Ben is mud.
Oh,
So your shoe will get sucked right off of you the
oh,
minute you're
gotcha.
walking, and you're like, oh, this is not going to work. But then we did the confluence, in Havasu Falls, and I wore regular shoes, and the river bottom was just rocky, but they were doable.
Right.
So it just
Gotcha.
depends on what the river bottom's like. You know what I mean? If you're going to be changing in and out of your shoes, then you want to make sure you make a right choice for that
Right.
bottom.
Yeah, that makes sense. So for someone visiting the area, what kind of terrain should they expect when hiking near San Antonio or let's say Kerrville?
It's very rocky, a lot of loose rocks, lots of limestone, lots of red sand. It's really just a mixture of everything. There's not a lot of mountains. We have a lot of hills. It's definitely hill country. And you do have to kind of venture out of San Antonio a little bit to get more of the hill country. You will not find that within San Antonio.
Right.
Everything in San Antonio will be pretty much flat.
Gotcha. The where I'm at, I'm just north of Houston, and my home trail is the Lone Star hiking trail, and it's dirt and it's roots and so it's very soft. And I
It's so
remember,
different.
yeah, so different, especially for your footwear. Like it's very forgiving for you can have the oldest hiking boots and you can
Mhm.
go and hike on the Lone Star hiking trail. You could even do it in a pair of tennis shoes if you wanted to, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
you're not going to have any foot issues. But as
Mhm.
soon as I had a pair of hiking boots, they were getting on the older side. I took them to a place where it was rocky. And within the first probably 20 steps, it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be painful
Yeah.
because the boot, just the difference between the rock and the dirt makes a big
Mhm.
deal.
I
So,
actually had to change my shoes at Lone Star.
did
I wore
you?
my Solomons and I was like, "Ooh, these are so uncomfortable." So I put my Ultras on and the ground was soft there and then my shoe was soft and we were backpacking there. So I was like, "Oh, this is so much better."
Yeah, surface makes such a big difference. So, since we're talking about shoes and boots and things, what are your favorites? You mentioned Solomons and Ultras. I like Saucony's.
So I have been hiking so long, it feels like, and I have a brand new tendon in one of my feet from an old hiking injury. And so I would say I have tried so many different shoes, and my favorites that I will not stray away from ever, ever, ever again are going to be my Ultras and my Hoka.
Okay. Hoka's.
I
I have
have,
the Hoka Trail Gators. I love those.
yes.
And I'm a Merrell fan. I love my Merrells.
I started with Merrell's and they
Did
last
you?
so long. Like the
Yeah.
durability of those were amazing. But then as I started having feet issues, I just had to find something that was a little bit more softer. And I cannot not wear a high top. So
Oh, really? Okay.
I like to jog too. So I will wear like trail runners
Yeah.
with a high top or a mid.
Wow. I tried a couple of high tops, but I found I need the kind of a mid shoe or a mid
Hmm.
rise versus a high top, just because. So I got I think it was the Hokas, and they felt great on my foot, and it was the high top, right? It went pretty high up the
Hmm.
ankle. When I was hiking, it would just strum my tendon on the
Oh, yeah.
very front of my ankle, and I was literally debilitated after probably, however many miles. And I had to walk actually sideways and loosen off that shoe so much. And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
thank
know
goodness for
exactly what you're talking
REI's.
about.
Yeah, thank goodness for REI's exchange program because it was within a year. And so I was able to take those back and go
No,
back
I
to
had
my
the
old
same
standbys.
experience with the Hoka high tops.
Did you?
I think they were the Anacapas.
I
And
can't
so
remember.
we hiked in the Grand Canyon, and my toes were actually bruised and
Really?
rubbing the front of my foot. But I wear the Hoka Speed Goats, and so those are more mid, and they are so comfortable. But it's funny how it's like one brand, but like it's not just the brand; it's like the actual model that they have as well.
Right.
That
I
might be
agree.
my favorite as opposed to another one. And the
Yeah.
Ultras are great too. They have a huge wide toe box, and the ones I have are actually high top, but they are so soft and flexible.
I'm gonna have to look at those. I haven't tried them on yet. I've always thought because of the wide toe box, they always look goofy to me. That wide toe box is actually really important for our feet. I'm a personal trainer and so I know the importance of like splaying out those toes and having that room
Mhm.
and that space for your feet. It's very important. And so because of that, I'm gonna have to check those out.
And I have to be honest, wearing high tops or even a mid, I have never rolled an ankle. As
Nice.
opposed to before, I rolled it over and over.
Really? Well, I
Yeah.
can give you some exercises to strengthen those
Oh,
that
yeah.
ankle and the muscles that surround it. So,
Definitely. Probably could use those.
all right, let's move on to weather, wildlife, and trail tips.
Okay.
What are some of the weather patterns that hikers need to prepare for or look out for in the hill country?
Very hot, very humid summers. I would say be prepared for anything because you could be out in the middle of a hike and boom, a thunderstorm will hit you. And you're like, where did that come from? I swear, sometimes it will rain and there's not even like cloud coverage over you. You're like, what's going on? And then also like you do get a lot of cold fronts. So always check the weather before you venture out because your phone can say one thing and then it can end up being another the next morning on your way out. So I would say the weather changes very quickly here.
How do you prepare for that? Do you always have like a rain jacket with you or some sort of safety gear?
I pretty much always hike and dry fit.
Okay.
Yeah, like dry fit shirt. This is dry fit. I wear dry fit. I'm one of those hikers. I like to wear leggings, but
Okay.
they're very thick and durable hiking leggings.
Yeah.
But some people like to wear pants, you know what I mean? And so as long as it's dry fit, I think that you're good. You can also bring a poncho. I tend to buy those all the time, but I don't feel like I've ever really used it.
Gotcha.
Have you
Yeah.
ever had to use your poncho?
I have, but in other climates, like
Yeah.
or during the winter when it's cold out, it's
Mhm.
cold and it's raining.
Yeah.
That's when I'll put on my poncho or some sort of rain gear.
And
But
like I
during the
said, it never
summer,
lasts.
yeah,
And I'm sorry, I was gonna say it just never lasts though. Like it will rain and then boom, it's done.
and then it's gone. Yeah,
And then it's
yeah,
humid.
yeah. Yeah, especially during the summer, it's pretty much guaranteed it's going to be hot out.
Mhm.
Very cool. Have you experienced any unexpected weather events on the trail? Is there a specific weather instant or incident that you can think of?
Mm. Well, actually, in Santa Elena, the last hike that we just did in April, we did have a little bit of sleet and a little bit of rain, and we thought it was going to be so hot. And Melanie, I literally went out and bought those silly umbrella hats. Have you seen those?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I've
like a
thought about
cape.
getting those.
Yeah, and it has like an umbrella. And I told my husband, I was like, we're gonna wear these. And he's like, what are those? I said, we have to wear these because there's no shade at Big Ben. It's going to be 89 degrees. If the weather says it's going to be 89 in Big Ben with no shade, that means 99.
Right.
So I came all prepared with all kinds of goofy stuff, and it ended up being like super cold.
Oh no.
Yeah, like we were driving home and there was like snow everywhere, like in Alpine. A couple of the people were freezing, but we did not expect that weather at all.
Wow. What time of year did you go?
In April,
In
April,
April.
it's
Wow.
busy.
Yeah. I have a trip coming up to Colorado in a couple of weeks, and I've been seeing reports of it snowing at 2 or 3 in the morning, and it's like, I might have to pack an extra layer.
Yeah, actually, when we went to Colorado, a lot of people were turning around because they thought it was going to thunderstorm. We hiked Mount Elbert and it did not thunderstorm. And I kept going, thank God, and made it to the top. But on the way down, it did start hailing and thundering, and we had to book it.
Oh, wow.
Very scary in Colorado. You have to be real careful with that.
I've heard, I've done the wilderness first aid courses, and, they talk about hunkering down and sitting on your feet and keeping the heels of your feet together, like having all those points of contact.
Oh, that's interesting. I need to take one of those.
And my wilderness first aid instructor has so many crazy stories about lightning storms and lightning strikes and things happening to the
Oh
groups
my
that he's
goodness.
with.
I always say that when I camp that I create thunderstorms because every freaking time I go camping, there's a thunderstorm. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I don't go camping that often. You know what I mean? I hike more than I camp or backpack.
Have you ever
But
been struck by lightning?
no,
No.
pretty close though. My husband and I almost got struck one time and we couldn't hear for like 30 minutes. We were just like,
Real. Oh,
we've never
wow.
been so scared in our life. We got
Where was
stories
that at?
in our backyard.
In your backyard.
It literally hit right behind us, and all we
Wow.
saw was white light, and we ran inside. In fact, it was so close to the house that we had a power surge and we had to replace the fuel electronics. It was bad.
Oh, wow. That is
Yeah.
scary.
Mhm.
Yeah, we can get some pretty intense storms through Texas.
Yeah, I prefer not to be on the trails if I think it's gonna lightning.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Safety first, right?
Absolutely.
What wildlife do you typically encounter in the Texas Hill Country? Or are there any critters that we need to watch out for?
Well, since I live right next to Government Canyon, I'm just gonna tell you that. But there are mountain lions out there because I see them on next door.
Oh,
There are
wow.
sightings, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I've never seen them. There have been bobcats sighted just in and around San Antonio at several of the parks. We see lots of road runners, lots of bunnies, but I have actually heard wild hogs.
Oh, okay.
And I have to say, I'm more afraid of the hogs than anything else.
Yeah, they can be, from what I understand, they can be pretty nasty creatures just because they're always protecting little ones and they're half blind, right? So typically they'll stay away from you. Like if they hear you coming, they're just going to scamper off into the bush. They don't want any kind of trouble. But if you come between them and their little ones or come up upon a pack, if you're quiet and you surprise them, then yeah, there could be some
Yeah.
issues. I think that's with any animal.
And they're in big groups though. So it's
They
like,
are.
holy
Yeah.
moly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about snakes?
Snakes. Oh, yeah, definitely snakes. You will see so many snakes in and around San Antonio. Like a lot of the local parks have coral snakes.
Okay.
I don't think they're as dangerous because their mouths are so small. Like, I don't feel like they could really do as much harm. However, copperheads, terrified of them.
Are you?
Rattlesnakes, terrified of them. Oh, yes. I've almost like seen my husband step on a rattlesnake at one of the parks, and I've almost stepped on a copperhead because it blends right into the ground.
Right. They
So
do.
right
We have
around the corner,
copperheads here
I'm
too.
like, ugh.
Actually, I was on a hike a few weeks ago, and one of the ladies, she's a little bit of a self-proclaimed snake wrangler, and
Oh
she was hiking
gosh.
with one of those snake hook sticks,
Oh my
right,
gosh. Yeah.
for wrangling snakes. And we came across a hog nose snake, and apparently they're very docile and they're not poisonous or anything. And she picked them right up, and we were looking at them, and
What
just
a
a
sight,
very
though. They are so cool.
they're cute. Nice looking snake, that one.
Mhm.
I have a friend who is so terrified of snakes. One time we were at Guadalupe Peak and the sign says, watch out for snakes. She'll make a wide berth around the sign.
Oh yeah. If you're in Government Canyon, there's one area that says rattlesnake section, and it's like,
Yeah,
but
we
it's
won't be,
funny.
yeah, she won't go in that section.
That would be really hard though. I have friends that just don't hike at all during snake season.
Really? Yeah.
Period.
What would you consider snake season? Like
Spring.
summertime? Spring?
Spring. Hmm.
Okay. Do you see more of them in the spring?
Oh yeah. As soon as the weather gets warm, it starts to get really sunny, they start to come out.
Do they? Okay.
Mhm.
Good to know. In my opinion, I think all season is snake season, but
Yeah. You always have to be
always
prepared.
exactly. Now, what about plants or bugs? Are there, other than, let's say, the wasps and let's say poison ivy, is there anything else in the hill country area
Um,
that people need to watch out for?
there's poison ivy, there's cactus, there's poison oak. I'm trying to think of what else. The mosquitoes are definitely annoying. I like to spray my clothes sometimes before I even go on a hike. That helps. But yesterday, it's so funny because I had my very, very first encounter with horse flies.
Oh, goodness.
Have you ever had an encounter?
I have had an encounter with yes, they will chase you. They are relentless.
They chase you. They're literally like zzz in your ear. There was two of them. I got out of the car yesterday to go hike, and as soon as I got out of the car and grabbed my backpack, I heard them. And then I saw that there was two of them, and I just booked it, and they followed me the whole way. And
They
I went into
do.
the restroom, and I was like, "Oh Lord, I haven't even started my hike yet." Ironically, when I came out, they never bothered me again. But I straight up got attacked exiting my car.
Wow.
They
The
bite so hard.
They do bite hard, and like we said, they're relentless. There's a couple of things that I've done for horseflies. One of them is I'll take a branch, like a beautyberry branch or a like a some sort of small branch that's laying on the path, and I'll swish it behind me like a horse's
Oh,
tail. And
uh-huh.
that tends to help quite a bit because I find they try to bite your calves, right? Like when you're walking. And so I'll swish that. But then the other thing that I found was apparent that something about predators. So dragonflies is a predator and other predators won't come into their territory. So this is just something that I'm testing. And so what I bought online, I found it on Amazon and I can send you the link, but it's basically a clip with a wire that has a big dragonfly on it. I'll send you one.
Yeah,
And so you clip it to your backpack. And so you have this dragonfly that's flying around. I don't know if it works yet. I have to keep on testing it, but I'm
that's
hoping.
hilarious. I've seen the ones that you clip to your hat too, and I'm like, we're just not doing that. There's like
Well,
a
maybe clip it
dragonfly.
to your backpack, right? Clip it to
Yeah,
your
that's better.
backpack rather
Yeah,
than to your hat. But yeah,
that's
that's
so
the
funny.
purpose of it, is something about it's a predator in the area, and then a horsefly is a predator, and so it'll stay
out of the way.
I wonder why. I wonder if that's why they didn't bite me yesterday because they attacked me when I got out of the car, but the whole time I was hiking, I had my poles
Right.
and they bite. What? Yeah.
What are some of your go-to safety tips for someone who's hiking in the region for the first time? Is there
Mm.
anything that you would recommend that they would have to have with them?
I am a big preacher of water. There are some people that show up literally and they're like, I'm here for the 6 mile hike. And I'm
Yeah.
wow. Or they show up with like zero water. I don't understand how they do it. It freaks me out. Because, I mean, if you've hiked for a while and you've been dehydrated once, you know what that's like. You can even have heat exhaustion and have plenty of hydration and just not have enough electrolytes, right? So
Right.
I always preach electrolytes. That's a big thing for me as far as safety goes. Also, if you're hiking alone, there's this new alarm called the She Birdie. Have you heard
She
of that?
birdie. Okay, what's that one?
It's a personal alarm and you can get it on Amazon and it is so important to have. So basically it's like the sound of a house alarm. So
Oh, okay.
I've never had to use them, but I recommend them to people that hike alone or your gun or your dog or whatever. But that is something to me that I feel like is very resourceful to keep you safe. If you pull that lever, if you're being assaulted or if you're in any kind of danger, you can't turn it off. It's so loud that like, anybody around you is going to gravitate towards that noise and be like, what is that? So
Yeah.
it's a personal alarm. I think that's really important. Always tell people where you're going and when you expect to return. And I always share my itinerary personally on all trails. I'll send it to my husband.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
always
Smart
pretty much
idea.
knows.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think, wearing the right shoes, please. I know it's a thing to hike in Crocs, but just don't do it.
Oh my gosh.
Shoes fall in the safety category as well. I mean, just imagine being like 5 miles out and you sprain your ankle. We've had that happen too, and that was very scary, you know? And
I've had to pick up hikers. I think this year my husband and I have picked up three different sets of hikers, whether it be for water or for just exhaustion or footwear, whatever it is, time of day, and they've run out of water and they have three dogs with them. And it's like, what do you?
so imagine like you don't have enough water. It's really, really hot outside, right? And you don't have any electrolytes. On top of that, you're 5 miles out in the middle of a hike. We have seen people at our local park actually been airlifted out, and we're like,
Wow.
whoa. These are such little things to remember that will go a long way. You know, if you drink water, bring extra,
Bring what you think you'll need and then bring a little extra.
more.
Yes. Yep.
Definitely.
Agreed. And a snack, whatever kind of snack you need that will help keep you going for those just in cases, right? I had a
Hmm.
couple of friends just the other day. They're very experienced hikers. They know what they're doing. They've hiked hundreds of miles and they were out on the Lone Star hiking trail. They intended to do a 6 mile hike, but they missed one of the cutoffs, like one
Oh
of the
no.
turns they were supposed to make. And they
Mhm.
ended up doing, I think it was 12 miles that day. But like I said,
Unexpectedly, right?
unexpectedly. Exactly. So thank goodness they were experienced hikers. Thank goodness they had extra water, they had extra snacks, and they had the base built where they could do those extra miles without an issue. But I know for not everybody is like that, that could have gotten other people in big trouble.
Yeah. Like if you have children with you,
Oh, for sure. Children.
like,
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you're on the side of the road trying to hitch a ride
Yeah.
back or something,
I
right?
always say bring salty snacks too. You know what I mean? Also for safety because of the sodium that it has in it. Like, trail mix. And my favorite personally is like beef jerky.
Nice. That's a good suggestion. Now, let's talk about Santa Elena Canyon. Tell me about what that was like.
Oh, well, our admin, Michael Dolly, my co-admin, he comes up with these great, wonderful, very challenging hikes, and I'm totally there for it. So, this year from every birthday, we do like a type 2 fun because that's just when I'm able to travel with my work. So he organized him and I believe one of our awesome hikers, Justin, the Santa Elena Canyon hike. But we were going to start in Lajitas. And at 4:30 a.m., we were going to climb a peak. And then hit the peak by sunrise, hiked 12 miles through the actual backcountry. So we had to obtain a backcountry permit, Michael's idea. And so we did that for 12 miles. And then we got to the actual canyon and we were like, whoa. I mean, you can only go straight. So yeah, so it's a canyon. It's just a wall here and a wall here, US side, Mexico side, and you can only go straight. And so it's like whatever comes in front of you, you have to do. And we had done the confluence together last year, and that was, I think, like a 22 to 26 mile hike in one day. And we went through, I want to say, like 7 water crossings. So I asked him, is this kind of similar to that? And he's like, oh, I mean, kind of, but not really. He says, this one's going to take a lot more strength. And I'm like, strength? He says, Julie, you're going to be wading mud up to our waist and to our thighs. I mean, you got to have some serious strength. And I'm like, okay. But we did it. We got to the water and we all put our water shoes on, started walking on the rocks, slipping in through some mud. And that's when I was like, oh no, I'm putting my hiking shoes back on. So I put my Hoka speed goats on and I just laced them really, really tight. And they actually ended up being perfect as far as my feet go. And, treading mud. The mud was like quicksand. It was,
Really?
oh yeah, it was very hard to get out of. In fact, at the very end of the hike, and then we're dealing with the weather that I talked about earlier that just kind of swooped in. So I was like, what is going on here? And then, I mean, if it was getting cold, just picture this, it's getting cold. And then you're like, come to like the water and you're like, well, shoot, there's nowhere to go. You have to go through the water and you're freezing.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
like, yeah, in some areas you couldn't even touch the ground. Some areas there were like boulders. So some of us would try to go up and over these ginormous boulders that were so slippery too. If we had a way around, we would try to go around. And it was very unpredictable, so unpredictable. We went through bamboo forests, having no idea what you're stepping on. We scaled
Really?
walls just so we didn't have to get into that last batch of water. We were like, no, not doing it. And then we came towards the end, and they're like, the Santa Elena trailhead is right there. So 7 and almost 8 miles of doing this. And then we come to the end, and I see people, and I'm like, I'm so excited. That was probably the worst right there. I was like to here in mud,
Like up to your waist?
and I couldn't
Yeah.
get out of it. I told my husband, don't come this way. And then there was this guy named Mark who was on the hike with us, and we had teased him for bringing his little Dollar Tree floaty. It was like a little tube. And so he's like, do you need my help? So he hands us the tube, and I literally held onto it and he pulled me out. So my husband and I slithered like the way out of there. Because if we sit up,
Wow.
we just sink. I mean, it looks this deep, Melanie, but if you stand in that, it actually is like triple that.
Wow. Would you do it again?
I say no, but I probably would.
Yeah. Was it really beautiful?
It was It was beautiful and it was just such like the biggest hiking high of just being in all different kinds of terrain
Oh,
and
okay.
only being able to go forward. You know what I mean? It was just whatever was in front of you around that corner, you had to make your way across somehow, some way. So it
Gotcha.
was definitely fun and took a lot of strength and a lot of training.
Were you ever scared?
I was a little scared because I like to warm up when I hike, but naturally. And within the first mile and a half, I think we climbed like 2,000 feet of elevation at night. And I was like,
Wow.
my God, I'm gonna die. I was the last person to, make my little summit, but
That's
I took
okay.
my
You did it.
time, went
Yeah.
slow. And but it was gorgeous. The reward was the sunrise, right?
Right. Very nice. Now, rumor has it there's feral cows that roam the canyon. Did you see any of them and what were they
Yes.
like?
We were like, whoa, there's cows. Where'd those come from? It was really, really interesting. I want to say there were like 4 or 5 of them. One of them seemed a little sketch. He looked at us like, I don't know about y'all. I think he was a steer. Like, I think he had horns. I can't remember, but he was black and white. We just kind of all looked at them, took some pictures, and then realized there's nowhere for them to go. We can just go this way. So We just kind of walked in a single file line across, and then they kind of got out of our way and ran around us. But some of them had tags. So I want to say, sadly, Melanie, I think they're misplaced there. I also
I've
feel
heard
like
that. Yeah.
they are. And I think they're just procreating and keeping their little tribe alive,
Right.
because I don't know what they eat. And on both sides of that, there's pretty deep waters. And my husband said that they can swim, but I don't know. They seem pretty misplaced.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that they've escaped from whatever
Mhm.
farm or got away from whatever farm and now they're in the canyon and
Yeah.
there's just
I had
really
never
no
even
way
known
to get
they
them
were
out.
there.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know who actually owns them. I'm sure if they're tagged, they could figure it out, right?
Maybe from Mexico side.
Yeah,
I don't
I
even know
think
how they
so.
got here.
Yeah.
But there was a baby too. It was really
Oh,
cute.
really?
Yeah, a little baby.
Wow.
Yes, and they were skinny. So I was like, oh, what are they eating?
Oh, poor things.
Yeah.
So, what do you recommend hikers should do if they run into one of those cows? Do you think just kind of keeping your distance or any
Yeah. Just kind of ignore them and just kind of walk around them. I would definitely not show fear to any animal I came across, even if I am fearful. But I would just say just keep walking, get as far away as possible as you can from them. I think they're kind of scared too.
Do you think the presence of the cows kind of changed the vibe of the hike at all? Like, was
It was
it,
more exciting.
yeah, more exciting?
It
Very
was
cool.
such a beautiful sight to see.
Aside from the cows, what should people know before attempting the Santa Elena Canyon? Any special gear or tips that you can think of?
Do not wear water shoes. For the water shoes, wear hiking shoes. If I could do it again, which we probably will, I would definitely wear my Lone Star hiking shoes. They're really flexible, and I thought
Okay.
these would have been perfect because my Hokas were big and chunky, to be honest. I actually ended up throwing them away. I came out of that hike covered from head to toe in mud. So I
Really?
threw everything away and changed right there in the restroom. But so I would definitely say wear some comfortable hiking shoes. Anything dry fit, wear pants and like a long sleeve shirt unless you want clay on you everywhere. And what else? Pack everything waterproof if you don't have a waterproof bag.
Right.
Yeah,
Everything
definitely.
inside. I like to use dry bags and Ziploc bags inside of my bag.
That's exactly what I did old school style.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of getting like a waterproof bag, I just ziplocked everything.
Yep. Yep. I think it works great. Good. Let's go back to your community of the San Antonio Hikers Group. And so, what is it like managing a large hiking group? And what are some of like the joys and the challenges of it?
I love managing a large hiking group. I have some amazing moderators and admins. We have an amazing team that help me deal with everything. Chris kind of handles the Facebook page because he's living outside of Texas. Michael and Chris, I would say, are like the decision makers. Judy kind of handles all education, all backpacking. She's a moderator. Greg is like the biggest party planner ever. I mean, we have so many people show up to Greg's hikes. It's crazy. I think he's had up to 100 people on a hike.
Oh, wow.
And that's probably one of our funny stories to tell. He is also really resourceful because he will actually make files for our group and pin them. So, like, let's say you want to start off hiking and you don't know where to begin, and the two suggested parks that we suggest is like Eisenhower Park and Frederick Park. So basically, you can go and you can pick out the color coordinates of what he outlined for you. And those will be like your first hike. And then this could be like your second hike. It takes all of us just to kind of keep the whole group running. And most of all, it would not run without any of the hiking hosts. We have some pretty freaking awesome people. All of us have just become such good friends. A lot of us frequent the same hikes over and over, and it's so addictive, like you said. We have all different kinds of hikes. So, like, let's say you haven't hiked in a while, but you're getting ready to go to the second highest peak in United States, Mount Elbert. We have a hike every Wednesday night by Gabby, and it's literally rucking. Like, get some weight, let's go. And it's a lot of elevation. And then they get to like where we call the power lines. It's like a big hill, and they'll just do repeats. So, I mean, if you want to get in shape for something, you will get into shape with our group, which is great because, like, people are going through divorces, right? Some people quit drinking, they turn to hiking. Some people are just lonely. And so it's just such a great community of people that are coming together. And the one common denominator is everybody is just trying to better themselves.
That
So,
is
love
so
that.
well said. Thank you so much for that. So, what
Sure.
kind of, you mentioned one of your moderators or hosts has
Mhm.
had up to 100 people show up for his hikes. Tell me about one of those.
Oh my gosh. So he did a hike. I want to say it was like out in Bernie. And the hike was so big that he literally drove a golf caddy and went to the front and went to the back. And this man remembers everybody's names, just so you know. I don't know how he did it because I'm horrible with names. But he literally just made sure not one person was left behind. And if it took a golf caddy, that's what he did.
That is really great. I like to value like myself as being like a good hike leader where I'm always conscious of where the caboose is, right? Or where the tail of the hike is and where the front of the hike is and just being very mindful of where everybody's at. And I feel like not every hiking group or hiking leader does that. So I think that's great that you have that in mind when some of your hosts are doing the hikes.
I think I'm kind of like the hiking host that I'll be in the front and go at moderate pace because a lot of the stuff that we do regularly is local here. But then I will go down to the middle, check on them, run to the end, check on them, and then I'm running back to the front. You
Yeah.
know, that's me turning into like a jogger. But yeah, I try to keep track of everybody as well too, or I'll stop just to take pictures of everybody walking by so I can kind of like let everybody catch up too. And I like to take a lot of breaks. That's just me. I will take breaks just to make sure everybody stays together.
That's good. That's good. I think that's a great way to lead a hike that's satisfying for everybody. And I
Yeah.
think when you hike with a group, I think other members of the group appreciate that too. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to have a hike that's divided into groups by pace also, because
Yes.
there are some people that, they just do not want to have to stop every 5 minutes and wait for people. And then
Right.
there are some people who are just starting out. So I love that because like we have Dan and he's awesome. He's one of our moderators and he hosts beginner hikes all the time. And so it's neat because they start off with beginner hikes and he's really good about keeping everybody together. His hikes are rather large also. And we call them TNT hikes, Tuesday and Thursday. And we're like TNT. But yeah, it's so funny. But what he does is they're already like at a fast pace. Like they're literally doing the power lines now. And I'm like, wow, like they started as beginners and now they're like doing the power lines, which is a little bit more moderate.
Very cool. What time does your Tuesday and Thursday hike start?
I believe they start around 8 a.m.
Oh, wow. Okay, so daytime hikes.
And he'll adjust the times in the mornings based on the weather.
What do you think that your age or your demographic of your groups are? Because a lot of people who work can't do a Tuesday morning hike at 8 a.m. So do you have things for the evening and the weekends, of course, but
We only have a hike if someone wants to host. So we always welcome hosts.
yeah,
People are
good
like,
point.
there's never any hikes on Saturday. I'm like, would you like to host one? I'll help you set up an event. So yeah, I know we can always get that going. But typically we have a couple in the evening, we have a couple in the mornings, and the age demographic. Another thing I love about our community is, I mean, we've got like teenagers to like people in their 70s hiking with us.
That's great.
You can see them on one hike even. I love the fact that everybody is just friends with everybody and there's so many friendships that I've cultivated from our group. I mean, my friend Cameron's like in her 20s, and she's hanging out with some of us like in our late 40s and 50s, and it doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter. We're all doing something that we love together and adventuring out.
Now, for community efforts and the flood cleanup, I heard that did you help organize some cleanup for the Kerrville floods? Can you tell me a little bit about that and what inspired you to take action?
So one of the things about the flood cleanup is we had people coming on the group that were collecting items just for people that lost absolutely everything. I like to dabble in a little search and rescue or search and recovery on my own. So I had decided that I would get a group. Usually I do these things on my own. I don't post about them. I don't post anything on social media about it, about doing SAR. However, this was such a huge mass catastrophe that I feel like they needed everybody out there. So I did not post an event through our group, but I did get some select people that I really think would be good at helping me with this. Unfortunately, it did get canceled because it just kept raining. It would not let up with the rain. And every time it rains, Melanie, they had to suspend all search efforts along the water.
Right.
So we did end up going, but it ended up being a weekday. And so it ended up being just three of us. And then it rained again. So I kind of rallied up a group of men with machinery and just us two. And then we ended up calling a contact that I had from Kerrville. And I said, "Do you need any help?" He said, "Not with search and rescue, but I need helping hands." And I thought, helping hands, I love that. So I told these guys, "You've got machinery?" And they were kind of displaced because of the rain too. Like, where do we go? What do we do? We volunteered through the Cajun Navy, FYI. And so they're such an awesome group, by the way. But so, anyways, I ended up getting these guys that were displaced. We were kind of displaced because the rain came. And so I ended up calling one of my contacts. And then there ended up being like, I want to say like probably 12 people that showed up to help this guy, Huntley. And we ended up cleaning up an entire street of houses that had washed away. We were responsible for just grabbing anything and everything we can and putting them in piles in front of the house or the lot so a skid steer could just come and take them. And that was so rewarding because it was just like these people lost everything. And some of these people don't even live there in these houses. They're just river houses. And so to know, picture this, if that was you and you have to work in Houston, right? I mean, what an amazing feeling that you know that there are volunteers over there cleaning up everything for you
Right.
so you can rebuild,
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a,
Rebuild or just make it safer for
yeah.
everybody because you don't want, I think, and for the wildlife too, you don't want to leave all that debris just laying around. Someone's got to take it and move
I mean,
it and clean it up.
they clean so good. So then that was the one time that we did a bit of that. I was going to say that Friday I was at work, but one of the ladies, Patty from our group, she's amazing, such a loving person. She actually organized a really big group and they went out there through the Cajun Navy as well. And they did so much. I think they did a little search and rescue. They also just like sorted clothes. And I mean, they were out there the entire day. They met at 6:15 to be there by 7:30. And so I'm just so happy that we can help with helping hands. You know what I mean? Just out there doing something, anything.
Thank you so much for your service and for
Sure.
everybody who you rallied to help pitch in with you. I think that's a wonderful thing to do. Good job. Let's move on to some fun and reflection after such a serious topic. What is your most memorable or funniest moment you had on the trail?
So I would say I like to have a lot of fun on the trail when I host a hike. And so sometimes every once in a while we'll do like the TikTok dance challenges.
Oh,
So
really?
so one of my funniest memories is having everybody do the TikTok drop challenge. Are you familiar with that?
No, but now I'm going to have to go look it up.
Oh, it is so funny. So you can literally just be like, I mean, they do them everywhere, right? Like this, it's not just a hiking challenge. So you could be like at the shampoo bowl, shampooing someone's hair. And then when you hear the music, it's a certain beat, you start dropping to the ground like it's hot, you know?
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and then there's like people that are like in dentist offices doing it, real estate agents. It's just so silly and it's so funny. So I had all the hikers in the hiking group one day do it, and it was just like all these hikers, and they're just like, you have to hear the music. You can go look it up later, but it is so funny. So, anyways, that's one of my funnest memories. My other funnest memory would be chasing waterfalls in Havasu Falls. Um,
Oh, yeah.
incredible. Highly recommend. And if you
Did
want to
you
go,
you did have a Sioux Falls, so you went down into the canyon, you got like permits to camp down at the bottom, had permits to go into the canyon, and then COVID happened.
oh no.
Yeah, so I ended up reselling the tickets, and it was a pretty easy process to resell the tickets. It was really easy to resell them. There's a whole Facebook group devoted to resellers of the permits. And so I found out through that process, it's actually pretty easy to get reselled tickets because things come up, people lose their group or whatever happens, things happen in life. And then, it's like, surprise, 4 tickets are available.
And they're so expensive. Can we just say?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what they are now. What are they now?
I think for like six of us, it was, or 11 of us, it was like 3,800 or something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And was that per night or was that for how many nights?
I think you only get 2 nights. They cap it.
Nights. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like 3 days, three
Three
nights,
days, 2 nights. Yeah.
4 days.
Yeah.
That was so fun though. We literally hiked through water and came out to these gorgeous waterfalls. Everybody was like in their just best moods ever. And then like a few of us went and did, well, first of all, we all had to conquer our fears by going down Mooney Falls.
Right. Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I've seen some videos of it, but I'm sure it looks completely different in person.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. I actually did not trust the chain that you made
Right.
go down. I was just using the anchors because I was like, every time somebody would let go of that chain, you're like,
Oh, really? It'll rock you. Scary.
So, but that was really fun because that was something like I had never done on a hike, and we got to do that and just go down this ladder with like waterfall splashing at you the whole time. And then the confluence, that was like the best hiking experience ever. Only three of us did that out of the group. Everybody else was like, yeah, no, have fun with that.
Tell
It's
me
in
about that.
Havasu, and you're basically hiking to the Colorado River from the Havasu River.
Okay.
It's so neat, Melanie. It's just the sight to see. Like the brown Colorado water comes and meets the turquoise blue water, and it does not mix.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it does not
Interesting.
mix. You can see the divide.
Wow. Almost
Mhm.
like a yin and yang.
It is so cool. Absolutely.
Really neat. Now, talk a little bit about the logistics to get to Havasu Falls. Did you go to Flagstaff and then go from there, or what'd you
And
do?
let's see what we did. We flew into Flagstaff. No, we flew into Vegas.
Okay.
And then we drove to
Okay.
the Havasu Lodge, and that's where you check in for your hike. Stayed like in a group house there, and then the next morning ventured out to go do the Grand Canyon. And the weather changes there dramatically too. So
Yes.
we were bundled up in the morning, with our ginormous backpacks. I would love to do that again. It was just such a beautiful hike, or even venture out to different parts of like the Grand Canyon for sure.
Nice.
But
Nice.
yeah.
I had the privilege of going to the Grand Canyon this April. We were there early April or May, might have been May 1st when they first opened. It had snowed the night before, and I think it was 24 degrees early in the morning, but it was a great hike. My
It was,
friend and I, anytime I get my feet on the dirt, it's always a great hike. So
yeah.
every hike I do is great.
I know we're kind of a crazy breed, even if it's 24 degrees. But yeah, no, I was gonna say when you go to Havasu though, just be prepared. You have to hike 12 miles, to the village first.
Right.
And then from the village you go down to your campground.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's
Good. Thank you. And then they're also susceptible to, flash floods, right? So you have to watch out for rain and stuff. And sometimes they can have some disasters happen over there too. So,
that
you
happened
know,
right after our trip too. And it
did
was
it? Yeah,
they had
scary.
an outbreak, remember? They had like a illness outbreak.
They did. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the monsoons.
Wow. What time of year did you go?
April 4th, my
April
birthday.
4th. Oh,
Yeah,
well, happy birthday.
thank you. We always do a crazy trip on my birthday. My
Very
husband's
fun.
like, can we actually go on a vacation next time?
Yeah, but that is a vacation.
To me too. Maybe not to him, but he enjoys it.
If you could hike anywhere in the world with your group, where would you go and why?
Tanzania, baby.
Oh, nice. You're going to come
Uh,
to Kilimanjaro with me? What are you going to do?
yes.
Yes?
I cannot wait to hike Mount Kilimanjaro. I keep saying 2025 and we're here. And I'm like, okay, that's not happening. And then I'm like, okay, 2026. And I just know it's not going to happen. So I'm just going to like push it out until 2027 and just be completely prepared for it.
Why won't it come in 2026? You could come with me next year. We're going to
Maybe
go either
October.
September or October 2026.
Okay. Maybe further in the year. This year was like, so I had so many things to go do. And then we're having a baby in August, a wedding in October. And I'm like, well, there goes our trips. So
Right.
definitely, I was really thinking 2027 just so I could have it really planned out. But you probably have a tour guide and all that already, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'll just
Nice.
tell you everything. You probably have everything you already need. You just
Mhm.
need a little bit of guidance as to where to do what to do and how to get there and what to expect. And I
Are
can
you
do
going
that
to
for
do
you.
anything to like prep for the elevation?
As an avid adventurer and fitness enthusiast, it's important to me to stay strong and active. I want to share with you one of my business interests, and it's called ID Life. I started following and using ID Life over a year ago, and it's been a total game changer for my energy, recovery, and longevity. Some of my favorite tools are the DNA test, which helped me fine tune my fitness and nutrition protocols, and I also love BioAge. BioAge supports cellular health and supports NAD levels for deeper vitality. I especially love the IDX combo, and that's BioAge supplement paired with the ID Life Energy Mix. Together, they give me the daily boost my body needs so I can keep chasing adventure on the trail and on life. My goal is to hike and explore well into my 70s, 80s, and 90s. To take the free health assessment, just visit idlife.mmichaelchuck.com to get customized recommendations based on your body, your goals, and your lifestyle. That's idlife.mmichaelchuck.com to feel better, hike stronger, and age powerfully.
So that's such a great question. I love that you asked that. The heat and humidity of Texas is perfect training for high altitude. There's actually studies out there that the heat and humidity has similar effects on our body as what high altitude is.
I am total proof right here. I heat train.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yep,
Don't go do 6 miles. That's
exactly.
but
Exactly.
you do acclimate and it's
You do.
crazy.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep. That helps your body out immensely. And then other than, stairs and lunges and squats and you got lots of hills in the hill country, you'll do fine. You'll do
You
great.
take supplements.
Yeah, there's Diamox they recommend.
Mhm.
Highly recommend take Diamox. So you're going to have to get that from your doctor. Yeah,
It's
for
like
sure.
18,000 feet, right?
Yeah. Well, the summit is 19,320.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How exciting, right? And you get to camp out like on base one, right?
We will, yeah, there's several different routes that you can do and will be what I call base camp, but it's one of the
Mhm.
camps that's
Yeah.
closer to the summit. So you'll camp out at summit and then you'll start your summit attempt at about 11:30 at night. And then so that you can reach summit by sunrise. And then after summit, then you have to come down. And so you're exhausted, you're tired, but you have to come down quite a ways yet. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty challenging, but very rewarding.
So exciting. Definitely a
Yeah.
bucket list.
Yeah, very cool. I'll make sure you're on the list.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, just a couple more questions and we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
What is one piece of gear or trail snack that you would never hike without? Oh, yeah, you're showing me your bottle of your
My
beet
beet juice.
juice.
Everybody knows it too because they all know I love my beets. Beef jerky for sure. My tripod for my phone.
Oh, yeah. That's such a smart idea. I always forget mine, and then I'm always trying to take selfies and take pictures, but I wish I had my tripod with me.
Yeah, it's really great too if you want to do like a video or if you're just in a big group, you know. Hiking poles, I don't know if you can see them behind me.
Hiking poles for sure.
My faves. Extra socks. Always bring extra
Extra
socks.
socks. Yes.
Mhm.
I think for me, it would be moleskin because
Oh,
sometimes I'll get blisters. Here's some rapid fire questions.
yeah. Okay.
Sunrise or sunset hike?
Sunset.
What's your favorite state park?
And my favorite state park, I would say, is Pedernales State Park.
Oh, nice. Trekking poles, yay or nay?
Yay, good for balance
Yay.
for the knees.
Yes. What is the most overrated hiking trend?
Instagram hikes,
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
where they show you hiking like on an Instagram video and they're like, come with me today to do this. But like really they're not even doing the summit or like 'cause it's a trend. It's a video of making a trend, like I'm gonna do Angel's Landing today, but like they don't really do Angel's Landing. They're just like doing another trail around Angel's Landing.
There was a couple who went and did the Lone Star hiking trail, but all you saw were pictures of them at the trailheads.
Literally. Yeah.
Right? So
To
I think
that.
they just drove the Lone Star hiking trail, like the route, like along the route, and just stopped at each of the trailheads and took pictures at the signs. I think that's what they did.
Ugh.
Yeah. Next one is, who would be your dream hiking buddy, alive or from history?
So this is probably a big compliment to Shaylin. She's my friend on Instagram, but I would love, love, love to hike with her. Do you follow her? Shaylin
No.
is.
Shaylin, what does she do?
She hikes in the Yukon. I told her one day, I was like, I just want to hike with you. And she's like, oh, you're so sweet. And I'm like, no, for real. Like, seriously.
What one word would you use to describe the San Antonio hiking community?
Heartfelt.
Heartfelt.
Mhm.
Nice. That's beautiful. And I feel like, you've really given us your heart today and really your passion and your creativity and your love for hiking. And I appreciate you sharing with me today. Is there anything else you wanted to add today that you feel like we left out?
I just wanted to like extend that question that you just asked me. I just say that it's a heartfelt. There's so many hiking groups in San Antonio. There's San Antonio Plus Size Women's Hiking, Hiker Babes. There's San Antonio Beginner Hiking, Hiking Heroes. I feel like even though like there's so many different groups, we are just one community, and that's what I love. So
And with that, we will wrap up our show. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And that was a great way to wrap it up on.
you're welcome.
Thanks for hiking along with me today on the Just Hike podcast, where we explore the trails, tackle mindset shifts, and take steps towards the life you want, one adventure at a time. If today's episode inspired you, be sure to follow, rate, and review the show. It really helps others find our growing trail-loving community. And if you want more, please subscribe to the newsletter at justhike.com so you can stay in the loop. You'll be the first to know about upcoming Sidewalk to Summit training plan, my book release, new gear, and more. And of course, follow us on social at Just Hike to get your daily dose of trail tips, hiking inspiration, and movement motivation. Until next time, get outside, stay strong, and just hike. See you on the trail.